So close. Hey, folks, thanks for tuning in to the BAMF podcast on Saturday night. I'm your host, Mike Lafferty, and here is our contractually mandated musical intro. And that delightful musical montage assures you, gentle viewer, that this is a high quality, high production values podcast. Only the finest, ethically sourced, gluten-free, geeky conversation for your podcast listening pleasure. With us tonight, we have two gentlemen from Bud Stuff Games, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right. We have Pete, who's playing Leviathan tonight. Pete, are you one of the devs on the game, or what's your role at Bud Stuff?
Yeah. Thanks for having us. I am one of the devs on We Can Be Heroes, and yeah, Bud Stuff Games. Perfect pronunciation.
Sweet, excellent. And to anyone who doesn't know, We Can Be Heroes is a new, let's call it 5e derived superhero RPG.
Yeah, that's fair to say.
Yeah, right now is burning up Kickstarter. I think I've got the link for that. Let's see. Actually, Bud Stuff Games is the best place to go because that'll give them lots of information about the game, and there's a link to the campaign. So, just budstuffgames.com. And our GM tonight, we're just going to call him Smiley. He is the handsome bearded fellow.
There's a lot of beards at Bud Stuff Games. Pretty much all of us have some degree of beard and mustache combination. But yeah, my name's Aaron, but my last name is Smiley, so everyone calls me Smiley. So that's what I generally will refer to if you need to get a hold of me. I'll probably be more inclined to respond to Smiley. But yeah, thanks for having us, man. I'm real excited to be here and play this game with you guys.
We're happy to have you guys here. It's awesome. And you guys how much time do we have left on your Kickstarter?
We are coming up pretty close. I think it's Pete is going to know the date off the top of his head.
Yeah, it ends March 19th.
19th.
Yeah, 10 days.
10 days. So it's already funded. Jump on the bandwagon. Lots of stretch goals being knocked down. Last but not least, internet celebrity Alice Peng, aka Lala, is with us tonight as a player playing Night Shift. How you doing?
Great, not celebrity, but hi guys, thanks for having me.
Well, used to be semi-famous running the Babies with Knives podcast, which is on long hiatus, but we'll come back one day.
Yeah, and I do show up on some stuff like BAMF and other people's stuff, but not really a celebrity.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was over enthusiastic.
It's okay. No, it's good.
I'm starstruck to be here.
When people start talking to me like that, so.
No worries. All right, so let's, if you don't mind, can we look at our characters real fast? Because number one, I want to show off the really cool art you guys have, and we can talk a little bit about the system before we dive in. I will go first with the Whomper because that's who I have pulled up right now. And that doesn't really show off the art, does it? So let me go into the other tab to see that. Let's go stop screen. Share screen, the Magical Live. Okay, Chrome tab. I think it's going to be number 1. Nope, that's the reference. Okay, here we go. So 2, the Whomper. This is the dude. He's got a big fist, or that's artistic license. He just his big thing is punching.
That was our artist Max Bear was trying to create a power based around, or rather create a drawing around the power that we have, Colossal Punch, and that's what he came up with. So the Whomper kind of evolved after we just kind of threw the keys to Max and said, hey, just do whatever you can, do whatever you got. We want to see what's in your head. And of course, Max delivered, as you'll see in some of these other wonderful superhero drawings. But yeah, the name Whomper came after the drawing, if I recall correctly.
Yeah. So here is, I guess, probably the back of his character sheet. Now, like we say, it's based on 5e, superpower, Colossal Punch, 3 AP plus 1 HF. So that's the cost for using this power?
Yes. So AP is a lot like actions, right? Like you have, if we're making it kind of akin to 5e, which we did base it off of it originally, because that's the one that we're most familiar with. But I kind of brought from, I'm a big Pathfinder guy, and I kind of brought the idea of having multiple actions that you can spend with different action costs. So we came up with action points, there being 6 every turn. So a superpower, for example, would be 3 action points, half of your action economy. And then HF is also Hero's Favor, which is basically kind of like spell slots for your superpower ability, right? So you only get per like quote unquote long rest, your like X amount of superpower attacks or abilities essentially. And at this level, I think you have 3 Hero's Favor per downtime or long rest. So yeah, it would cost half your turn economy and then 1 of your Hero's Favor.
Okay.
And just real quick, that Hero's Favor does reset on downtime, which is akin to a short rest.
Oh, excuse me, short rest is what I meant to say, not long rest.
Okay, cool. So let me see. And so we got talents, intimidation, deception, showmanship. What do these different numbers mean next to talents?
Those would be your modifier. So, for example, very similarly to skills in 5th edition. So, for example, if I had to have you make a deception check, you would roll a d20 and you'd only add 1 since the Womper doesn't have a whole lot of charisma. But, for example, if you had to do a muscle check, he's very strong. So he would add a +8 to it. So it's basically like your talent modifiers.
Okay, cool. That makes sense. So I don't want to dive too much into everything, but let's just say if I wanted to punch somebody with the colossal punch power, how would I do that?
So this melee superpower attack, you'd have to be in the same zone as them. So rather than using a grid system, we use a large zone hex grid. So multiple NPCs or player characters can occupy the same hex zone. So you would have to be in the same zone as them to do a melee attack. You would say to me, hey, I'm going to use my superpower. And then you would go ahead and roll for in this particular case, you'd roll 2d12 and take the higher. The thing about and We Can Be Heroes that we think is a little bit different, we're very proud of, is that superpowers always hit. They never ever miss. If you're spending Hero's Favor, you're gonna do something. It may not be max damage, max roll or whatever, but you're always gonna do a little bit. In particular, Colossal Punch, you actually roll that. So the D12 is not to quote unquote to hit like you would on a regular weapon attack. You're rolling the damage that you're doing. You hit the guy. So you would roll 2d12, take the higher for the damage, and then you deal that damage 1d12 plus 1d6 plus Moxie. And then you add that. So
all right, understood. I thought we would look at Night Shift's character now, if that's cool with you, Alice.
Yep.
All right, cool. Let me just see. That's the Womper off of here, and we'll share. This is an interesting looking character. Let's.
I love Night Shift's design.
It's a Nightcrawler-ish inspired. It looked like, but on a quick thing, with some radiation being in my background. It seems I am kind of radioactive, so I'm a roguish type character that I'll be playing tonight, named Night Shift. I phase, and yes, I am already hearing a couple people going that we know, like Quinn. Yes, Quinn, I am playing another teleporter. Oops. My main superpower is a phasing aura. It's going to cost me 3 action points in a Hero's Favor. And the Hero's Favor apparently resets during short rests. So that so basically it sounds like these Hero's Favors are per encounter. I will, for the phasing aura, I basically will generate a ton of radiation and start ripping people between realities and do a bunch of damage to them. And then I have my secondary powers as teleporting, and I will phase through stuff. And then I just my basic attack seems to be through weapon attack of my propulsor bow staff, which, so sounds like I'm going to have some fun.
As described as a great mix between Kitty Pryde and Nightcrawler.
I saw Kitty Pryde. I saw Kitty Pryde as well. Definitely.
I think
the Nightcrawler thing jumped out at me, especially with the bamfing element and the bow staff and such. So, but I can see the Kitty Pryde in some elements. And if a certain other person had shown up, I would have suggested they take it, and I would have taken another character. But
If I recall correctly, as well, one of our developers, Mikey, came up with Night Shift, and the description was that Night Shift was an employee of a VHS store, like a rental store. So the artwork is kind of reminiscent of that old style VHS like packaging and boxing, and I think Max did an incredible job with that as well. As a big, oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that. Looking at the thing, I was like, okay, so I'm working the night shift at Blockbuster.
Exactly. Yeah, she's works the graveyard shift on at a VHS store. I'm also a big Nightcrawler fan. It was always my favorite X-Men when I was a kid. So I've always I'm generally one to pick a teleportation hero if I can. So I'm excited to see you guys see what you guys do with these characters. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's once again, I really love your art, but just this character specifically. I hope I'm blowing it up enough so people can see it. But her outfit has that old some of the colors from the VHS blank tapes, and the sort of the way her power kind of looks like static on a VHS tape when you're fast forwarding or something. So it's cool stuff. So all right, cool. So we talked about the art, talked about the game a little bit. Let me get up the character sheet again, and let's start playing if you guys are good with that.
I'm ready to go.
All right, cool. Oh wait, we should talk about Leviathan. I'm sorry, forgive me.
Oh yeah, let's check out Levi. This is actually another character that our developer Mikey created. Love Levi. He had such a soft heart. He's an alien with the reformed criminal background. The catch being that his planet is full of hardened thugs, and that his warm heart was criminal on the world he's from. So then he was exiled and came to Earth, where he became a hero. So Levi has the Ice Blast power. So for 3 AP and 1 hero's favor, Levi lets out a blast of ice up to 2 zones away from you in a straight line. And the superpower attack on up to 2 targets will take that icy blast.
Okay, cool. All right, so those are our 3 characters. Smiley, I'll hand MC duties over to you, and we can start punching for justice.
All righty. Well, to get started, I've got in the same vein as Dragon Ball, I usually give a triumphant and dramatic intro to what's happening. Rest in peace, Akira Toriyama, for those who are big Dragon Ball fans. Figure that's a good time as any to get into it. So tonight on We Can Be Heroes, a harrowing heist. On a night just like any other night, your phone lights up with an urgent notification. Waverly Bank is being robbed. An APB has gone out to all supers in the surrounding area, as the police believes those involved to be the Og Hogs, a notorious biker gang of Augies and superhumans that plagues Playa de la Codicia with their brash criminal activity. Heeding the call, you arrive at the bank and see police cars creating a barricade out front, and an officer approaches you. Hey, Detective Stone here. Good thing you guys got here so quickly. He reaches to shake whoever's hand is leading the party, I should say. It's approaching you. Whomper, okay. Yeah, do you give him the big hand?
I shake as gently as I can so I don't break anything.
It's good grip. Thank you guys for showing up so fast.
What's the story, Detective?
Well, the Og Hogs have posted up inside the main bank floor and have multiple civilian hostages. They were very specific and very clear that they would civilians would start getting hurt if anyone tried to make their way inside. That's why I called you guys. I figured you could get in where we can't and get things taken care of quickly and quietly. Can I trust you on that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, you can. So we step back a second and for a quick huddle session with Leviathan and Night Shift. They go, all right. How do you guys want to handle this? Night Shift, go ahead. Yes.
I wasn't in that conversation. You're not huddling with me. I'm already phasing through. I was waiting till
okay.
I was gonna wait till But yeah, I'm not. You'll see that I'm on comms.
Wasn't there a third person with you? There's someone with a bow staff? Are they just on it? Is that?
Yeah. Where'd you go? Oh boy.
So for night staff, yeah, about that. She gets this call and she starts phasing out, teleporting out, and then she sticks her head back through the back employees door of the employees rest lounge in the video store and goes, Larry, I'm taking my break. Shuts the door as she finishes phasing, teleporting out. And she actually, I'm going to go scout while Whomper and Leviathan are talking to the people. I don't care about that. I'm going to go scout.
Okay, fantastic. So real fast, what I'm going to have you do is make a quick, probably observation check to kind of so when you approach the bank outside, there's a lot of police officers kind of like surrounding the area. You've got a couple of like detectives that have shown up, right, and they're kind of like trying to negotiate the whole hostage situation, trying to find out what's going on. Detective Stone has approached you, but if you wanted to kind of make your way through the side and kind of like kitty pride your head through and just kind of surveil the situation, great, go ahead and make an observation check. You're just going to roll a d20 and then add your observation modifier.
I have a boon on mine with a purple dot and a clear dot. What do those two mean?
So the boon is just basically means that whenever you pick a boon and a bane in our game, your boon is going to be your main, like kind of your main focus for your skill, right? That's like the thing that you're best at, and then also that determines your moxie, which is kind of similar to like I always say perception, but I mean proficiency is the word I was looking for. So nothing else other than that number is generally going to be your highest skill.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the 8 is already calculating all of that. Great.
Correct.
So the 8 plus 13 is 21.
That's exceptional. So when you peek inside, here is what you see. Inside the bank's main floor, you see a few rough and tumble looking thugs wearing biker jackets and brandishing firearms. One of these thugs have, that's incorrect. 2 of these thugs have the majority of civilians rounded up in a group on the floor, aiming their weapons at them, while another thug zip ties their hands together. Across the floor, another thug has the tellers held at gunpoint, trying to prevent any of them from reaching for a concealed weapon or activating any silent security measures. So actually what I'm going to go ahead and do is share the
map would be great.
I have that, and I will I would be happy to pull that up. Give me one sec.
So Levi, we're sitting on the sidewalk out front.
Yes.
Right.
So I'm going to go ahead and put you night shift over, I'll say like over here, unless and you can dictate to me if you'd like to move anywhere else.
Is there a second floor?
There is not. There is just one floor to this bank.
So Whomper, did the detective there mention anything about the number of hostages, or actually hold on, is night shift on comms? What are you spotting there?
You hear crackling. Basically, I will toggle on and off repeatedly to give a couple crackles to verify that I'm here, but I'm not talking right now as I'm being stealthy and looking through.
Like being on a team with Batman. Okay.
Whomper, did you get
squelch. Squelch.
So I got nothing. I try to flag the detective back over, and so Levi can ask him the questions he had.
Levi pulls out a book on human Morse code. And
so quick question on this for where the people are. Do I believe that I could teleport either Whomper or Leviathan actually preferred in this case, between the hostages and the hostage takers, because Leviathan has ice and he could potentially put up an ice wall. And also I want to go look to see if there's a basically a rooftop exit or entrance, and also if there's like a skylight or anything that I could drop Whomper off so he could ambush the other two, the ones on the tellers.
That's a fantastic idea. So you can teleport one yourself and another willing ally or civilian with you at the current level of your teleportation. So as long as you can see the area, which you can presently through, but there's also windows that you're right up against, so you can see and teleport someone in there. As far as skylights, I'm going to say that there is skylights up top, although it is a one-story building. Let's just say that there is. That seems like something that banks would probably have, right? Although I with such a great observation score, I'm not going to make you roll again. There is no other exits except this exit here in the back that seems to lead, like it's behind the teller desk. I don't know how else to put it. You know how tellers have like the kind of like glass thing that like it's an employee thing there. Yes, exactly. And then otherwise you have the main entrance that's right here. So you'd have to go in through the skylights, teleport in, or bust through the windows would be the primary entrance away.
At that point, I will teleport in behind the two and go tap on their shoulders and go.
To Leviathan and Wumper.
Oh,
okay.
I forgot the voice.
Plan.
I know I picked the right people for the job. She just teleported in out of nowhere. I know you guys are going to be great.
Wumper, can you promise me you won't puke this time? Because I'm going to drop you off upstairs. And Leviathan, you're coming with me. But Wumper, you can't puke this time, okay?
If I puke, I'll be very stealthy about it.
Okay.
Point of clarity, I can puke this time, though, right? All good?
Just aim it away from the hostages.
Always.
Okay. So here's the plan. I'm going to drop you, Wumper, up on the rooftop right over the skylight. So when you see Leviathan and I pop in, you can drop down on the two guys that will be right below you, okay? And Leviathan, you're coming with me. I'm going to drop you in between the hostage takers and the hostages so that you can use your ice walls and such against them so that they can't hurt the hostages. Okay?
That is why I love working with you.
Okay. So, Leviathan, I'll be right back for you. So, yeah, I'm going to drop Wumper there so that he's ready for our cue. Go pick up Leviathan, and I'm going to drop him in. And that's where we're going to start the knit.
Great. Real fast, before we get into that, Wumper, you wanted to ask Detective Stone some questions, or there was something you were trying to, you wanted to do, right, if I recall?
Levi had some questions. I was going to try to get those answered. Levi, do you still want to do that?
I think that night shift surveilled well enough. I was just wondering how many hostages we're talking about here. Actually, you know what? Maybe we should ask a couple questions. Detective Stone, was it how many hostages and how many assailants are we looking at?
Well, at present, it's a pretty small force from what we can tell. We think we can see at least 3 thugs inside, but we think that the heavy hitters Rock and Roll are at the head of this. We're not entirely sure, but that's what our intel leads us to believe. They're pretty powerful, Augie, so if that's true, you got a hell of a fight on your hands. Other than that, they could have more of their henchmen in the back, but we're not entirely sure. As far as hostages go, many did flee when the shooting started, but we count maybe, 15 inside that are still, including bank employees, that will need to get out. So far, no one's been reported injured or killed, luckily.
And what about the bank employees? Do we know if there's still a manager in there? Anybody we can be on the lookout for who might have some valuable knowledge of the bank's infrastructure, safe areas?
The bank manager is presently inside, yes. They're the ones that we've been communicating with. They're being held by what appears to be one of their leaders. I'm just going to go ahead and add this number that I forgot to add in. Thanks for reminding me, Pete.
Inadvertently reminded the GM of something fantastic. Already a win.
Would it be easier for you, Smiley, if we're on Roll20 also, or are you fine running it like this?
I don't mind either way. I can put you guys on Roll20 if you have accounts, but if you prefer to, if we want to stay this way, I can do that as well. It's up to you.
We can go this way then. It's a little bit that way we're not stalling on people.
Okay.
All right, sounds good. Just so I'm clear, the two bad guys I'm going to jump on top of are these two here in the lower right-hand corner?
No,
Right
the
by
lower
hostage.
left-hand corner are the
Oh,
where
okay.
I'm going to drop Leviathan. You're going to be dealing with the ones that are not quite the ones right behind the tellers, right by the tellers.
Yes.
Okay,
This,
right there by the letter B. Gotcha. Okay.
And we're just to kind of zoom in a little bit so you guys can see. So these two down here, these motorcycle bad guys, I call them, are the main bad guys that are dealing with the group of civilians. You have this mob of civilians. They do one token represents a large group of them, and then this guy over here is the leader, at least the present leader of these motorcycle bad guys. And then they have two. There's a running gag, by the way, when we play that I grab the silliest looking stock photos that I can of any NPCs that we have. So we've just got a couple of silly folks.
I thought that previous
These
guy
two,
was Lorenzo Lamas, but yeah, that's cool.
The hostage takers definitely have a little bit of a how should I say, Magic Mike vibe there.
You can tell that one's in charge by the oiled chest.
unfortunately, it would seem that the Oghogs
Not a
are
bow
just
tie.
as oiled up as they always are. So be careful if you try to grapple any of them. They're real slick.
Would Leviathan recognize the names Rock and Roll or know anything about them or the Oghogs?
Oh, that's a fantastic question. Everyone go ahead and roll me. Let's say an analysis check to see if you remember anything or if you know anything about Rock and Roll.
So it's D20 plus whatever your bonus is for analysis?
Correct.
Okay. I get modified 18.
I got an 11.
Yeah, total 17.
17. Leviathan, Whomper, you both know a little bit about Rock and Roll. Rock and Roll are brothers, and they are kind of like some of the heavier hitters of the Oghogs. Not necessarily top, but enough to give most, like the police, an issue. You know, it's they generally require some intervention from supers to get things going. Rock is very much like the Thing. He's like a big, burly bad guy, while Roll is very quick and very hard to nail down. I'll say with those modifiers, you know that much at least. Mainly that, and also I will say you do know that Rock is pretty impervious to most types of damage. Like he's got a very thick rock skin, so you have to be creative with how you beat up on him. But other than that, that is the most that you guys can glean. But they are serious business. They're definitely not as goofy as they may look. They're not messing around. So
All right.
Leviathan shares that information with Night Shift before she starts the teleportation barrage, and adds, fun bonus fact, Rock and Roll is also a popular form of earth music, I hear.
Detective
Yeah,
Stone
I'll
kind of
have to introduce you to some later. I've got some on my
Wonderful.
Walkman.
Yes. What is the Walkman? No,
Show you
later.
later, Leviathan.
All right. So I'm going to have you guys go ahead and set up here. Whomper, you're going to come down on one of the skylights. I'll say that we can put you right kind of over here.
Okay.
That's one of the skylights over here. And then I'll put Leviathan, you're getting right up in the middle, right? Night Shift, is there,
Yeah.
did you want to, you're teleporting there, I imagine, as well, right? Like with him. You have to be
I'm
physically
dropping,
pulling
I'm
him.
making sure that Leviathan and I are going to be in between the hostage takers and the hostages. And I'm putting basically Leviathan in front of me. But I'm going to be on the side of the hostages so that I can basically start funneling the hostages out through the front door as he makes space for us.
Fantastic. So to start, I'm going to have you guys go ahead and roll initiative, but I will give you a surprise round since you kind of took the initiative, rolled really well, and jumped on him. So otherwise, go ahead and roll initiative for me, which is going to be D20 plus your initiative score, which would be on your character sheet.
28.
Holy moly.
I rolled a nat 20 for that.
Yeah.
I prefer that on
Nice.
damage, on a damaging roll, but
Oh,
night
I
is
really
young.
did take a knit on this ambush for us.
where is initiative on here?
It's going to be at the bottom, Mike.
Yeah.
So Moxie, hit points, DT,
Oh, yeah,
and
gotcha. I got it. Okay, cool. I was zoomed in too close. So, all right. So D20 plus 4. I got a 7.
7 for Whomper.
Night shift, even though we were preparing for you to teleport us, neither of us were ready because I got a 6.
Well, I told you not to vomit. You guys are trying really hard not to vomit from my teleport.
You told me not to vomit on the hostages.
Exactly. So that's slowing you down. You're like, don't vomit on the hostages. You're slowing down for that.
All right. Fantastic. So, to get started, no surprise, night shift goes first. With a 28 night shift, what do you do as you've arrived here? What's the plan?
Okay. So my plan is to allow Leviathan to blockade, and my job is going to be to get the hostages out. So I'm going to does it look like basically either of those hostage takers? Yeah, I need to deal with the southern one first. Okay, time to fast forward. I'm going to superpower phasing aura shift. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. We do have a team jump in ability that I could have used. So I could have just had him and I use that ability while we were coming in, right?
Yes, you can do that on your turn if you like. I should also, I realize I didn't explain this. I should mention this. In We Can Be Heroes, in our encounters, we also have a system called the panic mechanic, which is refers to how civilians are doing in any given situation. To keep it simply, civilians have a score of 1 to 5. And that's kind of like a reverse health bar almost. When they're at 1, they're feeling great. They're not wounded. They're thinking clearly. They're ready to engage with the hero. They feel like they're going to get out of this safely. If they're at 5, they are in dire straits. They are like deathly injured. They are freaking out. They're not responding. It's a bad scenario. If a civilian or a group of civilians ever exceed 5, they are dead. Like dead. No saving them. So the way to affect a civilian score is all external. Civilians don't affect their own score. On their turns, they're going to do whatever the hell they think is the right decision based on their external forces. So as a superhero, you will need to defeat enemies that are holding them hostage, convince them they're going to be okay with a set of talent checks, things like that, to try to lower the score and and prevent them from getting into a bad space. So, it's something to keep in mind and do with your turn economy as well. Not saying you need to do anything in particular, just felt like I should mention that since we're getting into it. And I don't know if I have before, but currently you see these civilians, I will tell you, are all at 3 out of 5. They're all pretty panicked, but they're doing okay considering, and now these superheroes are busting down the door. Those numbers are going to start changing a little bit, but just to keep in mind, something to keep to mention. Otherwise, if you wanted to do a team attack with Leviathan, you can. Where you go
Super
through
team
the
attack.
superpowers
Yep.
at the same time. Yes.
So yeah, that's my plan: is coming in, dropping him, and I'm going to call out time to fast forward, and I am going to use my phasing aura while I trigger him to use his thing.
So that would, and also just to mention that because you're using your teleportation to get in and then your superpower, that's going to be 6 AP total. So that would be the end of your turn. That's going to be everything you can do.
That would be exactly all my AP, but cool. I got us in.
On your surprise round. So that's pretty good. You're probably going to get to go again before anyone else does anything.
And you said that the hostages have their wrists bound, like zip tied?
They're currently, yes. The Goon Red is currently zip tying the hostages, while Goon Blue is standing there with a machine gun, just kind of broadly gesturing at them to not try anything funny. Who will you target with your superpower team attack?
I'm targeting Red because I want to clear the way for the exit. And so for my phasing aura, what it looks like on him is basically, it literally looks like I am fast forwarding an old VHS tape. So he goes, and he's just kind of being ripped apart, and you've got all those ribbons and static on him. So what do I roll for this? Do I just roll an attack before I roll my damage?
So real fast, if Leviathan's also doing this attack. So how do your
Yes.
powers combine? Is what I would like to ask. How
What-
does the fast forwarding night shift phasing aura also connect with his cold snap? Pete, do you have a suggestion as to how that would happen?
I was already planning on using Hero's Favor for flavor to make an ice wall to protect these civilians. Night Shift
Okay.
was ahead of me. So
Okay.
what I was thinking was if we're gonna do the attack,
Mhm.
can I still make that ice wall and then have Night Shift phase them into the ice?
I'm totally
I
good
see.
with that. I'm totally good with phasing them into
yeah.
the ice wall.
I really like that idea, and I think that's going to be an exceptional use of it. So I will say you can do that with just your regular Hero's Favor. Yes. So so I will draw an ice wall here. I imagine you're probably going to be like, oh, that's not what I meant to do. I imagine you're probably going to be making an ice wall like,
Yeah, basically,
like that.
Yeah, I was
kinda.
thinking through the two zones that they're in, basically across in between them. I'll
Like this.
move. No,
No.
the way you had it drawn before,
So-
but
yeah.
just up a little bit northwest. Yeah, like that.
Okay,
Because
gotcha.
my power goes through two zones. I would take a step, northwest, and then blast that ice across the front.
Fantastic. So because superpowers always hit, what you need to do is just go ahead and roll the damage. You automatically hit red. We're just draining his health bar now. So I think for Pete, and you remind me if I correct me if I'm wrong, you do the damage of each hero's attack, and then also someone rolls a d6 on a double.
No,
It right.
If it's a super team combo,
says a D10.
each of us would roll a D10. And
A
add
D10.
that.
Yeah, each of us
each
rolls
of
an
you roll a
additional
D10.
D10.
Okay.
Yes.
Fantastic.
And
So-
what the one thing we're missing here though is basically that extra, that 4th AP that this costs to do a team up. The way we like to think of it is basically that AP is to coordinate with each other. And so the first person in the round who does it sets up this combo, and then it triggers, it goes off on the other person's turn.
Awesome.
So,
Okay.
which mechanically here doesn't have any issue because we're in a surprise round, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So
I did
we'll just go
26
ahead
damage.
and I'm
D12
sorry, how much
plus
is
D8 plus D10 plus Moxie.
Wow.
you did?
Yeah.
So
Plus
what
seven
was
plus
it? What was the
five
number?
plus 4.
I missed the number. What was it? You said 28.
No. Hold on. 10 plus 7, 17. 21, 26. Yeah, 26.
26. Excellent. Pete, you don't necessarily even have to roll any damage. That did it. That knocked this guy out just barely, but you might as well.
But am I going through blue as well since mine is 2 zones?
I think Leviathan only is allowed to hit one person with his attack, right? I don't know.
No, his super ability.
And up to 2 targets. Yes.
Yeah.
Then yes, go ahead and roll your cold damage. You may hit. You may also take down this other guy too.
Oh, well, it's a 1 on the targeting dice, so it's a glancing shot off of him, but it's still a 9 on the D10, 5 on that D8. Overall, we're looking at 18 cold damage.
18 does not take him down, but he is very close to being hurt. Also, I believe that's a hero's moment, my friend.
Oh, on superpower attacks too. That is, I think.
Can you explain what that term means? Could you please? Thank you.
Yes. So essentially, we wanted to add a mechanic. So you know how like when a superhero is kind of like at their lowest, they're like having a terrible time. They need to find some sort of like resolution. They maybe remember something that someone said to them, or they find an inner strength they didn't know they had. We wanted to add a mechanic for that. So the easiest way to put it in as at present, once per level, when you roll a natural 1 on an ability check, superpower attack, whatever, you get what's called a hero's moment, and that's like basically like a nice little Deus Ex Machina thing you can just like hold in your back pocket and use whenever something occurs, whenever you need it to. And right now, I think I don't remember what page it's on.
Thank you.
All right, go ahead and roll a d12 for me, Pete.
Yeah, I rolled a 1, which is actually gonna work for me here though, because I'm gonna choose the second option of this one.
Reduce panic level.
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, so I should read the whole thing. You can choose one of these two options: remove a condition, except out cold, from an ally you can see, or reduce the panic level of one civilian you can see. I want to reduce the panic level of one of these civilians, and I'll say the one closest to the door, and I'll say, "Don't worry, folks. How's that for an icebreaker? Head for the door."
That's pretty good. That does reduce their panic score. I'm going to say down to 2, since it's a large group. That's pretty good. They all see you guys fall in and just completely decimate one guy. He is just gone. He's phased out. The other dude took a huge solid chunk of ice damage. They are like overjoyed to see 2 superheroes show up. They're like, oh man, this is great. We're gonna get out of here. Fantastic. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna move that down to 1. Because you guys did such a good job on the team attack that also helped it, and then you also rolled a hero's moment. I'm gonna give you that. They are feeling good, feeling fine, ready to get out of here.
So for a hero's moment, should he describe what he feels or what's going on to trigger that hero's moment?
I would love to. Yeah. So
go ahead.
Leviathan sees Night Shift just phase this guy basically out of existence, and he's like, all right, you got this, Levi. We're gonna protect these people. I'm gonna take this guy down at the same time. And he gets a great ice wall off, but doesn't really get a good hit on the guy. And that thug is, cocks his shotgun or whatever weapon he's got with him, and Levi feels his 3 hearts skip a beat, and then steels himself and finds the resolve to focus on the civilians in danger, and sort of steps in between, puts himself in harm's way even more, so that the civilians feel that they're not the target anymore.
Despite your terrifying visage, the civilians trust you and are pleased to see that you guys have the situation well under control. Well, fantastic. So that was the 6 AP from Night Shift. Leviathan will have 2 upon their turn, but in the meantime, we've got Whomper. Whomper, can you tell me what you're planning to do on your turn? I imagine your breath when they come in and throw the ice wall, you punch through the skylight and fall down and land on the ground, right?
Yeah, that was kind of the plan. It sounds like I can't land directly in the teller's cage, so I guess I land right next to it, and I'll be trying to either jump the counter or bash my way through the counter to get to the bad guys.
Yeah, if you want to bash your way through, go ahead and do a muscle check for me.
Okay, rolling a d20. Let's see. That's an unmodified 20.
Yeah, that'll do it. You're able to push through very easily. I'll say to interact with to get through there. I'll kind of treat it almost like it's difficult terrain. It'll to move into that zone up here instead of 1 AP, which it normally is. It'll just cost 2. Since you rolled very well on that, you'll just kind of basically land down and boom, like punch through the wall, Kool-Aid man style, and burst through. I imagine you're trying to get closer. Do you go ahead and do you, anything else you're planning to do? I imagine move in and maybe pop off superhero attack. Maybe just going to do a regular unarmed strike. What are you thinking?
How many actions do I get per turn?
You get 6 AP per turn, so you've used 2 presently.
Oh, okay, I've used 2, so I have 4 left. Lorenzo Lamas right there in front of me. Never liked Renegade. It was a subpar TV show, so I'm going to hit him with my primary superpower, Colossal Punch, which is 3 HP plus 1 hero's favor.
Awesome.
Let's see. So that's going to be roll 2d12 and take the higher. So first D12 is a
And don't
11.
forget to hold on to the second. Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay.
Second D12 is a 4.
Mm-hmm.
So with that colossal punch, I believe you take the lower of the two and half it, and then add it.
So that'll be a total of 13. Plus 1d6 plus Moxie force damage. Plus Moxie.
Correct.
All right, so let's Moxie at this point is 4, so that goes from 13 to 17, and then rolling a 1d6. That's a 3, so that'd be 20.
20 damage, huge hit. You burst down, crash through the teller's cage, run up to this guy, and just sock him right in the gut. And he's like, "Oh!" And what I'll say is, with that attack, with a great superpower attack with a lot of damage, you'll go ahead and reduce the panic score of, let's say, one of these civilians. The one that's particularly right here is the manager is like, "Oh, this is so good! Like, this is great! Someone's coming to save us!" So he just like falls to his knees. And he's so excited. The other teller that's back here is still a little bit scared because you came in and just started breaking a bunch of shit. But excuse me, a bunch of stuff. She's still doing pretty well ultimately. And that is going to be your turn. That's all 6 actions for you. Lastly, Leviathan, do you do anything with your last 2 action points? You got anything planned for it?
I'm actually going to hold on to my last 2 action points.
Okay.
And so I've just got my glaive and my shield raised. I look like an extraterrestrial gladiator.
Awesome.
So since we're all learning and the audience is trying to understand, what is the purpose of holding those 2 points right now?
That's an excellent question. So in, like, for example, 5e, you would have like a dedicated reaction, right, to do something that on someone else's turn. In We Can Be Heroes, you can use your action points to do what we call a countermeasure to react to something. Specifically, for example, whenever you go down to 0 hit points, that's a countermeasure. So if you're getting close to death, you may want to hold on to a couple of action points. Pete may elect to stop himself from receiving a status condition like being stunned or being knocked down or something like that. And that's probably what he was planning to do. You can also proactively use those 2 AP, for example, to like evade or to reduce the attack rolls against you. But ultimately, it is to basically give yourself a reaction. Would be why you would hold on to AP.
Yeah. Awesome, thank you.
Evade would be a secondary action that you would use on your turn, and shield is also another one of those countermeasures. So if I wanted to add 2 DT to my my damage threshold, I would use shield as a countermeasure, so long as I have a shield.
Fantastic.
Awesome. Thank you.
Also worth noting, he doesn't have 8 AP when his turn comes around. You always start with 6.
Resets back down to 6. Right. I figured that.
If he doesn't, exactly. So if he doesn't use his 2, he just loses them. Great. That brings us to the top of the turn order proper, which of course is Night Shift with a whopping 28. So you go ahead and get to go again before anyone else gets to act. Night Shift, what do you got for me?
Okay. I think that I'm going to at this point worry about taking the other guy out so that Leviathan can go support. So I am going to use my second Hero's Favor of this encounter, and I'm going to Phasing Aura a second time. This time, though, I don't get the bonus 10. I'm just going to try and, I'm going to say, nope, let's do that again. Rewind. And suddenly the blue guy starts, and then the strips of the VHS tape.
Yep.
And you kind of almost see like film ripping him into that ice wall and back and forth as if it's trying to turn him into a flashing movie using the ice wall as the screen, as the projector.
Yep.
And that was only 14 damage instead.
14 damage is enough to do him in. Describe how you subdue this guy. Does he just kind of create a video projector on the ice basically of him? Fantastic.
Exactly. And
Fantastic.
he's like, with him like bringing his gun up, and so he's starting an action scene and everything. And I'm just rewinding the film so that he's starting an action scene and he's stuck there.
You beautifully and horrifically phased this guy out, and he is also done before they even got a chance to attack you. You wiped him out. You still have 3 action points left. Do you do anything with those action points?
I'm going to tell Leviathan that he go help Whomper. I've got these people. I'm going to use these 3 actions to start trying to basically funnel them out the front door and call out to the cops. Hostages incoming! Don't shoot!
Good thing to say.
That was incredible. You just put that guy into that aha music video I saw.
Yep. Totally inspiring.
Fantastic. You use those action points to help the civilians. I'm going to go ahead and have you do, let's say, go and do a finesse check for me to start like cutting off the zip ties and stuff and kind of like directing people out.
21.
21.
Oh, no, 20.
That's
20.
20 is good enough. That's you start kind of working your way there, helping these people out. Their panic store stays at 1, the lowest that it can be, and they start to kind of funnel their way out. I'm going to have a separate counter. I think I said 15 total, so I'm going to say that there's 13. In the meantime, while you're helping these people out, I'm going to go ahead and roll. You're able to get 5 people out already. So they're doing pretty good. You're starting to funnel people out, but you've got to keep on it and keep helping people as best you can. Fantastic. Next, you hear some pounding and thudding from the back hallway. Suddenly, from the back hallway, 2 figures emerge, one carrying a comically large quantity of money bags, while the other appears to have something small and made of metal in his hands. The one holding the money bags is much larger than the latter, and his skin appears to be made of some sort of inorganic material, almost like stone. Despite this, however, he appears to have tattoos on his arms and his legs. Smaller of the 2 is a thick carapace covering his back, almost like that of an armadillo, and his head is shaved into a very neat mohawk. Well, looks like we got some soups did show up to the party. What a shame for them, eh, big guy? All right, I was just waiting for some assholes to punch. Looks like these guys could take a few too. His knuckles crack sickeningly in what sounds like bark shattering from a tree that fell over. The larger of the 2 suddenly drops the bag and leaps in the air towards you, while the smaller of the 2 curls up into a ball and starts rolling at you. Fellas, rock and roll are here. And to start, rolled fantastic on his initiative. He's going to go ahead and jump in and attack. So let me just read his thing again real fast.
I'm sorry, where did he say that he was going to punch? He said he's here to punch some assholes?
Yeah, it's you guys are the assholes. Roll is going to move. He has 40 free movement. Holy, I don't know why that was so hard to say. 40 free feet of movement speed, excuse me. And he's going to jump through here. And then he is going to use his, with his last bit of action points, he's going to use his ability Roller Derby. And he's going to pass through this zone, or he's going to just basically pop into this zone over here past the civilians and hit both Night Shift and Leviathan.
What am I, chopped liver?
He imagines Rock. He says, "Hey, Rock's got you, big guy. Don't worry about it." And he's gonna pass right by you. He's gonna make an attack against you. So the attack is gonna be against your DT. Think of DT kind of like AC. And this one is going to be an 18 to hit. How does that do against Night Shift and Leviathan?
I'm actually going to use my shield. So I put up that shield, which brings my DT to 19.
Fantastic. You ward
My
off the
DT is
attack.
a 15.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do some damage. Leviathan, you will take it half rounded down. Night Shift, you'll take the full amount. That's a natural 6, so that's going to be 10 blunt damage. Leviathan, you take 5. At Night Shift, you're going to take 10. All right. Next, that was Roll's turn. Rock is going to attack our good friend the Whomper here, and he's pretty pissed. So what he's going to do is attack you a couple of times.
I'd like to use a countermeasure to use my shield to bring my DT up to 17.
Pete, can you remind me if does the 6 AP come back when it's the start of your turn or the start of the round? I don't recall.
It's the start of your turn.
Oh, okay. So no can do then. All right.
The only exception there is at the beginning of an encounter, you can use it if you haven't gone yet, but then when it gets to your turn, you'll have already used that 2 AP for a countermeasure, so you only have 4. But in this instance, you would have to have banked that, or not banked.
Okay. No worries. So that's not I can't do that. Understood.
All right. He is going to attack you a couple of times. Enemies do have a little bit of a different AP to make it easier on GMs, but he is going to be able to attack you 3 times. But we'll see if he hits. First attack is going to be a 13 to hit.
Okay, I'm 15 on DT, so
okay, that's a
looks
miss.
like that.
Second attack is also going to miss. That's going to be an 11. Last attack is a natural 20, unfortunately. So he is going to drop a critical on you here. Oof. Where's my D4s? Okay.
I asked him to take care of Martha.
Okay, so it's 5. Another 5. So 14 blunt damage. That's what you take.
14 blunt damage. So that takes me down to 47 minus 14. 33.
All right.
And Smiley, do you want to roll the D100 or do you want
oh my gosh,
Whomper to roll the D100?
I forgot. So we have this thing in We Can Be Heroes also called the injury table. If someone crits on you, there's a chance of an injury. I forgot to give you guys healing stuff, but we'll see how
that's fine.
But it's I would say it's up to Mike. Mike, would you like to roll the injury or would you like me to do it?
Oh, you're muted.
Pete, do you know?
Mike, you're still muted.
Yeah. Injury table is page 128.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I rolled an 83.
83. Unfortunately, that is an arm injury. Attacks are made with disadvantage until healed at least 5 HP.
Oh, shoot. Okay. That's my big attack. All right.
Just give you a wicked dead arm.
Yeah.
Okay. Condition, arm injury. Fantastic. I forgot to give you guys healing concoctions, but you can definitely check with some of these civilians in town or in this area if you wanted to. I imagine the police would also have them if like, for example, Night Shift wants to teleport and go grab something or something. But otherwise, yes, you need to heal to get that to go away. Otherwise, what's that?
Question.
Yeah.
Am I able to stunt my abilities using a hero's favor to basically go and set his bones? Because I can phase through, set, and pop out.
Okay. Yeah, we do have something called Hero's Favor for flavor, where you can spend a Hero's Favor to use your power for something where it's not like expressly written as an attack, right? Yeah, that's a very compelling case of using your phasing aura to do something. I would say if you do it and use you would have to use a Hero's Favor, but you can heal him and fix his arm injury, and I'll even give you just a little bit of health pull back, like maybe like a D4 or D6 or something.
Okay.
Pete, looks like you're trying to say something.
Yeah.
What's up?
Levi will say night shift is kind of thinking out loud, and Levi says, "That's a really great idea, but I've got the ability to heal our friend there. Maybe you hang on to your hero's favor."
Okay. So
yeah,
I'll keep working on the
I
keep working on the hostages then. Thank you for answering my question. I appreciate that.
There's this weird turtle man back there. Somehow got past my wall, and I'm a little worried about the civilians. But if you can take a look at him, I can go help Whomper and get that dead arm fixed.
Running a little low, but yeah, I got it. I can keep him off long enough.
Okay. Next is a street soldier, which is this very muscular and oiled up hunk that we have right here. He's going to move one zone over with 1 AP, and then he's going to attack Mr. Whomper. He's going to shoot you with his assault rifle. First attack is likely going to hit. It's going to be a 21.
That gets me.
Okay. That is going to be 8 damage. 8 damage. I don't know why that math was so hard for me. And the second attack is only 8 to hit, so I'm sure that's going to miss.
Yeah, I'm 15 DT, so I'm at 25 hit points. Okay,
Fantastic. That brings us now to the civilian mob. So this group of civilians, their panic score is going to go up a little bit since roll just came through. Nobody was seriously injured, but they are kind of having some stress about moving out, and they may not necessarily respond very well, but I am going to roll a D4 to get them to flee. And that's 3. That's pretty good. So 3 more of them leave, which is good. Some more of them have gotten out. And that brings... what's up?
I was just wondering, what does the 2 on the panic mechanic scale indicate rather than the 1 calm, like cool, collected?
They're starting to stress out a little bit. They thought they were going to be free. That some of them have already gotten out, but then this huge armadillo guy just came barreling in and just smacked the heroes up a little bit. And now he's kind of standing in between. He's like cornering them almost. So they're starting to stress out a little bit. So that's going to increase their panic score just a tad. Luckily, they're still pretty collected. They're still pretty happy with how things are going ultimately, but definitely not a good sign that their panic's starting to increase. So definitely something to keep in mind. That being said, until it gets to 5 is where it really becomes a problem. That's where things get really, really dire. As far as these guys are dead, they died or are knocked out. I mean, Civilian Red. Oops, I forgot to dictate who they are. Civilian Red, which is the manager here. He is really having a tough time with this. He is so panicked. But now that he's not being presently attacked, he's going to just like dive over here and try to hide under something. His panic score is going to remain the same. Civilian Blue's doing a little bit better. With the situation. She is going to try to shove Rock. It does not do anything. He is like an 8-foot tall stone monster. And then she's going to book it. She's going to try to run past this guy. And I'm going to have her make a quick check to avoid him trying to grab her. He doesn't have any AP, so she's just able to make her way past.
Okay.
So he's also way too slick to grab anyone.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he's just coated in baby oil, and she's able to kind of juke him a little bit, and she gets past with all her action points. So she's making a run for. You can see her current trajectory is to run for the door. I'm going to say that she also is able to lower her panic score by the fact that that guy couldn't grab her. So she's down to 2. And that brings us to the Whomper.
Okay, so any attack I make is at a disadvantage until I get healed.
That is true. You can delay your turn in initiative order if you wanted to wait for Mr. Leviathan to come. You can also move a little closer if you wanted to, and then hold the rest of the action for that. But it's up to you.
Okay, Lorenzo Lamas there behind me. How is he looking? Is he close to being down, or is he still pretty healthy? This
guy, I would say, is doing fine. He's kind of struggling a little bit. You see a bruise on him. There's a little bit of sweat, but he's not like one more hit like that, and he's done for sure. But he's still got a little bit of fight left in him.
Okay, I'm gonna move close to him. Try to keep him from going anywhere. He'll be my first guy to take out when I can get an actual attack off, and I'll just hold.
And to note, you can still use a superpower attack. You would just roll that D12 with disadvantage. So that higher of the 2 with the Whomper would become
lower of the 2.
Yes.
Would that cancel it out though? Since he has disadvantage, but he has advantage with the superpower, wouldn't it just be regular? Oh, I guess you'd still need to do 2 to get the extra damage, huh?
All right, well, let's it's a demo. Let's go ahead and do stuff. It's always better to do stuff. I'll go ahead and roll 2d12 and see what we do. So,
all right.
First d12 is a 2. That's probably my baby right there. Second d12 is a 10. So, I remember this card though. Let's see. 1d12, so it's going to be 2 plus 1d6. So let's see what we roll on the 1d6. That is a 6. So we're up to 8 points. And wasn't there something else on there?
You're going to take half of the lower. So it's going to be 2 plus 1 plus 6 plus your moxie.
Okay. So it's 2 from the d12 plus 6 from the 1d6 plus moxie, which is 4. So 2 plus 6 is 8. We're up to 12. Add half of the lower d12. In this case, is that add half of the higher d12
of the 2?
So it's still adding the half of the lower d12, which would just be 1. So 13 total points. I can spend a hero's favor to increase the damage of this attack. Using one hero favor increases the damage by 1d6. So let's go ahead and do that because hero's favor that recharges, right? That's a
at the end of a short rest, which would require you to be out of combat. But yes.
Okay. Well, let me let's do something, and I need to get this guy down. So let's roll a 1d6 and hope it comes up good. So we're at 13 right now. Rolling a 1d6, we're at 16.
16. Not kidding. That is like one more than he needed to go down. So how do you take this guy down?
I just kind of limp my horrible dead monstrous appendage at him. Like a large beast just flailing a tentacle at him, and
just slam him real hard, knock him up against the wall. He goes ooh and goes unconscious. Seeing that the civilians feel like they're doing in a little bit better spot, but Rock is still very much a present threat. He is not going anywhere anytime soon. Is that the end of your turn, Whomper? Do you have anything else you wanted to do? I think you've only used 4 AP at the moment.
So I've got 2 left. So I readied my shield to increase my DT to 17. Then, if that's a viable action with those 2 AP. So
absolutely fantastic. All right, that brings us to Leviathan. Up next is Night Shift. Leviathan, what do you got going on? What are you going to do for me?
To start, I just want to clarify what zone I'm in. Am I in the zone that the blue bad guy was in since I had moved that? Okay, I'm in that zone.
Yeah, I imagined you were in this zone with Night Shift, but
yeah, totally. Okay, I'm going to just give Night Shift a thumbs up. We already discussed the plan. I say, right, you got the dirty turtle back there, and I take off towards. I just tried to ping like I'm in Roll20. I take off towards
Wamper,
towards Wamper.
Okay.
I'm gonna hop through the hole he created.
3.
And using 2 AP, I'm gonna go ahead and use refabrication, my secondary power, and I guess I take. I come in hot like a sports physical therapist and ice your shoulder real quick and heal it for my pool right now.
3d4.
I guess explain the power. I rolled 3d4 at the beginning of the day plus my moxie, and I ended up with 12. And I'm gonna go ahead and use. It's 5 to heal the arm. Yeah, I'm just gonna use the 5 for now.
Okay.
Just to fix that up, and that way I still have more if somebody gets knocked unconscious or out cold.
Yeah.
So I heal 5 HP.
Yes, and you're no longer injured.
Okay, so I'm up to 38. All right, sounds good. Thank you, sir. That was brisk but helpful.
Brisk. Oh, ice pun. Got it. And then I'm going to move into rock zone.
Okay. And that is all your AP. Fantastic. Very sick. Very cool.
Wamper.
Very dope. Very rad. Up top, at the top of the order, Night Shift. Up after Night Shift is Roll. Night Shift, what do you got for me?
Okay, so Roll. I think you need a makeover. Let's
What the hell?
It's makeover montage. I'm going to grab Roll and I'm going to try and phase him through this wall. Because, I mean, your look, it's just way too 1980s. And if you're going to be a master villain these days, you really need a makeover. So let's do that. So we're going to do a makeover montage, and I'm going to start phasing him in and out of reality and start it's, the rapid changing of clothes on him to kind of update him out of his current look as he's taking damage. That's
fantastic. So I think you need to be the same zone as you. So you're going to have to move one zone over.
Yes, I spend 1 to move to him, and then spend 3 plus my last hero's favor to do this.
Perfect.
And that is 11 plus 7, 18 plus 4, so 22 damage. And trying to basically phase him through the wall and push him through the wall.
Great. Awesome. Okay.
Ooh, I just remembered something cool with the phasing aura. Is Roll carrying any weapons? Because if he's carrying anything, he's disarmed of those.
He's not carrying.
Target is disarmed as any equipment they are holding is dropped. Thank you.
Yeah. He is not carrying a weapon, but he is carrying equipment. So yes, he does drop. I will say he does drop this kind of rectangle, this metal box that he's holding. And as you phase that away from him, you still have 2 AP. Do you want to pick it up?
I'm holding that for countermeasures.
You're holding that now?
And yeah, it's part of that, part of the fact that I'm giving him a makeover and his clothes are shifting and he drops stuff. Maybe even his vest drops.
Fantastic. Yeah, you kind of shift and phase him out. It's very silly, and he ends up ultimately dropping this little box, which I'm gonna draw right here.
Quick favor. I am trying to phase him through the far wall, basically where the window is, because I want to still leave the path for the hostages to leave. So I'm not going for the south. I'm going for the west wall.
Yes. So you, as written, the superpower does not technically phase someone into a wall. You pull them out and do damage to them. For you to trap someone in a wall or something, I would say that probably requires more hero's favor to use a hero's favor for flavor or something like that. So at present, he's not trapped in a wall or anything, but you do. pull the thing out from there. But yeah, he is. There's still a clear path for the civilians to
okay,
move
cool.
through.
Yeah, no, I know that I didn't have the hero's favor to do the face through the wall, but I do have the window there. Then I can smash him into the wall and the window. So
yeah.
My idea was to basically maneuver him towards the west window.
Fantastic. Yeah, there's still plenty of room for the civilians to kind of keep moving through. You're tussling with them, you're pulling them in and out. Things are flying off of him and shifting. And he's very perturbed by this. He's not stoked about having this thing happen. You can see noticeable concern on his face when he drops this little box.
So the zones are just dynamic images, so I don't have to worry about the exact positioning. It's a dynamic zone. Got it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, exactly. You can move inside the zone for free, basically, without any AP or anything. But yeah, anyone in that zone is subject to being targeted by a melee attack or an air effect attack or what have you.
Should have tried my first idea then instead, but okay, I'll do that next turn.
Yeah, apologies. I should have mentioned that.
Oh no, not a problem. You're good. I'm totally good. Thank you. I appreciate the clarifications.
Of course. And you're holding on to the last AP as a countermeasure, right?
I'm holding on to my last 2 AP.
Cool.
I spent 1, then 3, so 2 left.
Fantastic. So that brings us to roll, and the first thing he's going to do is use some AP to pick up this box. He doesn't want you guys to have it. So he is going to, I think I have to, or maybe I can just Control Z that.
Now, am I able to sucker punch him for doing something like that? I saw that it's for him moving away, but is there any sort of countermeasure I can do for that?
That's an excellent question. I don't think so, but I like where your head's at. So I want to like give you the option to sucker punch him for trying to reach for something.
I think that
you know what?
Me, he's opening himself up by like moving not at you, right?
Yes, I like it. Go ahead and do a sucker punch for him.
Okay, so this is going to be a D20 roll instead, my first time.
Correct. This doesn't automatically hit. You are going to have to try to swing at him.
Right. 18 on the die, plus what is my mod?
You're going to add your mod. You're going to add your moxie if you have
unarmed.
So that'd be 22.
Expertise.
Yeah, that'd be 22 then.
Awesome.
And
so then that does hit him.
Okay.
Yes. Sorry.
So this would be my bow staff.
I don't know why.
Or is this? Yeah, no problem. Is this my bow staff, or is this something else that I'm doing on damage?
This would be your unarmed attack. So it would just be. I think it's a D4, right, Pete? Unless you have a brawler. Yeah, a D4.
Okay.
Yep.
I have something called an auxiliary power, forceful attack, that I add a D4 damage to my other attacks. Does that count for my unarmed?
That would only qualify to melee weapons or melee weapon attacks, which wouldn't qualify for unarmed.
Cool. So D4 plus my moxie is 7.
7?
Yes, I do 7 damage to him, sucker punching him while he's
Great.
while he's bending down to pick that up, I do the whole Kirk thing, and I just raise my arms up and bat him down.
You Captain Kirk axe handle him?
Yes.
Awesome.
Exactly.
He's like, I don't like you soups very much. You're very mean. And he does pick up this little thing, but it did require some hefty AP from him. So he can't do his big special attack, but he is going to try to attack you twice. So he's going to use his claws. He does have sharp, fine filed claws. So the first attack, Night Shift is going to. Oh, that's a 19 on the dice. So it's 23 to hit.
You hit me.
Okay, fantastic. That's going to be 8 sharp damage.
Okay.
Second attack, that is a 13 to hit. Does that hit you?
Missed me.
It's a miss. Okay. And that's all his action points for now. Oh, that's right. He has evade. Shit, I forgot to do that. Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's his turn. Up next is going to be Rock. Rock is right up in there with Womper.
No,
to tell you.
You actually Leviathan moved.
Oh, I moved the wrong person. You're right. I did. I'm sorry. He's right up there with Leviathan. Sorry to say Leviathan. He's going to use his super his super attack. his big special ability, Earthbreaker. So Rock jumps into the air and slams into the ground, and he makes an attack against you in the zone. And what he's going to do?
Joke's on you. I'm made of ice, not earth.
And that's going to be a 17 to hit.
That is my DT, I believe.
Oh, meets defeats, baby.
Yes.
All righty. So now you take 2d4 plus 4 blunt damage, and you are knocked down. That's a 3 and a 4, so that's a 7 plus 4 is 11, and you're knocked down, unfortunately, my guy.
All right, there goes the rest of my armor rating.
Okay.
And 6 to my HP. I'm down to 37.
All righty.
That's my
right.
alien shoulder armor.
That is
crumbles.
Rock's turn. That brings us to the civilian mob. Despite their panic, they're still doing a pretty good job of getting themselves out of there, which is nice to see. 2 of them are able to free themselves this time. There's only 3 of them left. Less and less and less of them are in a bad way, which is good. That's going to be their turn. That brings us now to Civilian Red. Civilian Red is going to continue to panic. He's just kind of standing there waiting for something to happen, whether Rock to beat up this big ice alien or ice alien to beat up the giant Rock. But he's his panic score is going to remain still, as it were. Civilian Blue is going to make her way out. She's able with her AP to get all the way out and is saved. Congratulations, guys. You saved her. She's out of combat.
I think that one was all Whomper.
She says, thank you, guys.
Whomper.
I'll write about you in my blog. And zips out and runs away.
That's what we do it for.
Blog.
That's what we do it for the blog post.
Yeah.
And that brings us now, speaking of Whomper, that brings us to Whomper. Whomper, what do you got for me?
So it's me, Leviathan, and Rock back in the teller's cage, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And I guess I'm gonna. Let's see. Can I get to Rock without having to move Leviathan?
Correct. You can occupy the same zone as him. Absolutely. So you just need to spend an
All
AP, and you'll be in the same zone.
All right, because I didn't want to knock him out of the way.
Mhm.
All right, cool. Then I'm gonna move over and hit him with my main superpower because this guy's pretty straightforward.
Fantastic.
So let's roll 2d12 and see what we get. First is a 10. Second is a 3. So we're going with 2d10, rolling the d6 for additional. That's a 3. So let me make sure I do the math right. Okay, so it's 2d12, take the higher, so it's 10 plus 1d6. That is 13 plus Moxie. That is 17. Had half the lower d12. Lower d12 was, come on, shift over. 3, so let's run down to 1. So that's up to 14. And let's see, is there any way I can increase that? I can spend Hero's Favor. I still got
Hero's Favor, right?
I spent 1. I just have 3 tick boxes underneath Hero's Favor. Does that mean I have 3 altogether? Oh, so I've already used all 3? Okay. You guys
wait, I think so. You swung at the guy first, then you swung at him again with disadvantage, and then you're swinging at Rock. Am I remembering correctly?
Yeah, so that sounds about right.
Okay.
Yes, you are.
All right. So I cannot use that this time. All right. So that would just be 10. Let's see. That was 10 plus 1d6, which was 13 plus Moxie 4. So 17 altogether.
17 is a great hit.
Plus the 1 from having 3 and rounding down. So 18, right?
Yeah. I think so, yeah.
18. Huge punch on Rock. You slam him. You break it a little bit. Like the rock starts to crumble. And he goes, Hey, punching people's my thing. Back off, pal.
You didn't have it trademarked. So, Hey, just quick shout out. I see we've got about 20 viewers, some on Twitter, some on Facebook, some on YouTube. Stay high in the comments. If you got any questions about the system, let us know, or go to budstuffgames.com. And they've got, if you go to budstuffgames.com/resources, you can see the character sheets that we're using. There's references. You can follow along with the rules. So any questions, just pipe up. Or back to Kickstarter. That's good too. Anyway, sorry, back to you, Smiley.
I just
Thank you
backed
so
it.
much.
Thank
Oh,
you.
thank
Alice
you.
just backed it.
Appreciate that.
And Alice is maybe the coolest person I know. You want to be cool, right? you do want to be
Thanks.
cool, don't you?
Look,
should back
all the
this
cool
Kickstarter.
kids, all the cool kids back our Kickstarter and play our superhero game. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to peer pressure you, but what are you, not cool?
I see some serious potential, so yeah, I'm backing it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Okay, Whomper, that is your turn, I believe. Did you have any? Or actually, that's not true. That you have still a couple of AP. Do you have anything else you want to do?
No, I'll just bank them.
All right, bank them. You shall. That brings us to
Levi
Leviathan.
low 5 from the ground where he's prone. Levi's gonna spend an AP to stand up. And what is he gonna do? I think, I think Levi's really just concerned that this guy hiding under the desk is gonna get in trouble. Just being here with a mountain of a man who's wrecking stuff. Excuse me. So I think Levi is gonna. I want to make. Can I make a hole through the cage, through the teller's cage, that he could get out through without having to go past Rock?
Yeah. So there is this one right here. I'm sure you're familiar with,
right?
That you can get through. If you wanted to make another one, how are you thinking of doing it? We're going to use Hero's Favor for flavor. We're going to use like a muscle check. What were you thinking?
I was going to smash it with muscle. I think. Yeah, I don't even want to have him. He's panicked. He's hiding. I don't want him to even have to go near Rock. So Levi's going to use an AP to move to one to the west there, and punch out a hole through the cage and just pick up the the teller, like, or the manager, just like under the arms. Goes, out you go.
All right, go ahead and do a muscle check for me.
Oh, there's it's a 10 after modifier.
I'll say that it's not enough. Well, that's pretty good. I'll say it's not enough to fully shatter it, but you do like really put a big dent in it. He'll be able to like squeeze out if you're content with that. If you want to go ahead and spend some more AP to try to hit it again, you're welcome to. But I'd say like for right now, he can like squeeze his way out for sure.
Yeah, I'll have him squeeze his way out. I think that's all the AP I want to use there. So that is, how much AP was that to try and bust that open?
I think what do we say? Like probably 2. I feel like just like an unarmed attack, basically, just to like slam that. I'd say 2 seems fair. And it'll be like difficult terrain for him to pass through that to kind of like jungle gym his way through. You know what I mean?
Okay, well then I am gonna step back over, not out of this zone, but in between him and Rock, and put myself between a Rock and a manager, I guess. And I'm gonna take the evade action.
Okay.
With my last 2 AP, so that is gonna give me a
I think you have 3 left, right?
Well, I had to stand up.
Oh, that's right. You did have to stand up. I forgot about that. Okay.
So he is all attacks on me, since I have evade active, will have -1d4 until the beginning of my next turn.
Great. Thanks for being honest, Pete, because I totally forgot about that. You could have just straight up lied about it.
Well, how else?
That's why we keep this guy around. He's always
system,
honest. All right. That brings us to the top of the order. Night Shift. Night Shift, what do you got for me?
Night Shift is going to attempt to break. I would like to spend extra action points to try and break that window on that west side and try and basically shove him through it so that he is at that point away from the active scene that we're trying to deal with hostages and, officers with guns on that side versus the front. So
okay,
that is my goal.
Gotcha. So what I'll say probably you're going to end up doing is like a grapple attack to then like move him over there and then try to like throw him through. That would be probably like what I'm like imagining you're doing. You like try to maybe even like get him in like a full Nelson or something, or lock him with your bow staff and then throw him through.
I will
basically lock him in my bow staff and somersault both of us out that window.
Yeah.
I will say your bow staff is a repulsor, so it will push him one zone if you hit him with it.
Okay. So so that I did see that, which is why I was not sure if pushing him out the window would work.
Oh. Yeah. You know what? I'll say it. If you hit him with this attack, I will allow you to push him back into the zone. Or I'll have you do like a little. You use it for less AP, just the 3 to hit him. But I'll say when you do it, maybe we'll like roll a contested check to see if you're able to push him out the window, or if you just knock him up against the wall, basically.
Yeah. So the image I have is basically that I'm already in the zone with the and I'm going to use one end to break open that window, and then flip the stick and then repulsor him through that window. At that point is the image I have in mind.
Fantastic.
But I didn't know if that actually worked. So thank you, Pete.
Yeah, of course. Let's give it a try. Go ahead and roll an attack for me. See if you hit him.
Okie dokie. That is a 19 on 19 modded.
On roll, that is actually going to miss. He's got an exceptional AP. Yeah, or DT, excuse me. He's got a very, very high DT.
No problem. I'm going to try a second time with my other 3 because I really want him out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to roll a lot higher. Is there anything I can burn to improve that, or should I just?
You said that the total was 19, correct?
Yeah, total's 19.
Okay. Just making sure you didn't say 19
I have to
on the
roll
die.
pretty high.
Okay.
Because I only get a +4 to hit, so that means I have to roll higher than the 15 I just rolled. I don't think my chances of rolling higher than a 15 is going to happen. I'll hold these 3. Okay.
Fantastic. You can also try to grapple him if you want to make it harder for him to get away. If you wanted to try that, there's no necessarily penalty for doing that. You have a better chance of grappling him because you're not affecting his DT. You'd be going against his physical score.
How many hostages are left?
There's only 3 left.
3 left. Okay. So I can't use that. I have a question. Never mind. I found the answer. Okay, great. Thank you. I will hold those 3.
Okay, sounds good. That brings us to Roll. Roll is a little bit is pissed at you primarily, and he's got his stuff, and he says, all right, buddy, might be time for us to make an exit. And he pulls produces this aforementioned box and hits the big red button on it, and boom, a big explosion happens on the side and blows up a wall that's over here, makes a bunch of debris, and it makes a giant hole for people to make their way out of. And he's going to start, he's going to go zip on over with his AP to try to get away from you. So you sucker punch him? Awesome. Go ahead and roll that.
I'll sucker punch him. Let's see if this die does. Okay, 18 on the die. Maybe I'll hit that time. That's a +4, so that's a 22.
That does hit him. Go ahead and roll damage.
Awesome. Unfortunately, that's only a D4.
Roll that damage.
That is 6 damage.
All right, 6 damage is good. He's looking pretty roughed up, still standing though. He is going to run over here, so he's got quite a bit of free movement speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's going to stay in not this guy, sorry. Stay in this zone, and he's going to start picking up these big money bags and try to move them out. That's what he's going to spend his turn doing, is picking up some of these money bags. And that brings us to Rock. And Rock is going to say, "Nah, I got this one, man. Don't worry about it." And he is going to leap into this zone. He's going to try to knock down Leviathan again. He's also going to attack this civilian.
Oh no!
Which is deplorable, awful, terrible thing. Villains, am I right?
What you couldn't get you.
Oh, he rolled a natural 1, boys. Holy moly! All right, that doesn't hit you. I'm almost inclined to say that he doesn't do half damage if he rolls a natural 1. Yeah, I'm gonna say he slips and beefs it. He's just gonna like try to take a leap, and he's gonna land on some of the oil that the Og Hogs left behind, and just go and hit the ground. What an awful waste of his action economy. This poor big idiot, and he does not do any damage to you, luckily. And he is knocked prone.
And he's brought low by Lorenzo Lamas' cocoa butter.
Yeah, it starts to slick up the rocks on his back. He says, "Oh, it smells so good."
Looks like
moving on.
Oil stain in a driveway.
Is he leaking oil?
At the end of Rock's turn, that leads us to the mob. The mob of civilians is going to try to make their way out again. They only rolled a 1 this time, but they're doing pretty good, all things considered. I'm going to say their panic score is going to go down again because Rock has left, and Night Shift is looking like they won the fight. So they're like, "Oh, this is great. We'll be out of here in no time. Everything's going well." So that's going to be their turn.
Barring the wall of the bank that's no longer there.
They surprisingly, that did not affect them too drastically. That being said, that did affect Civilian Red pretty drastically, and also Rock jumping into the area. His panic score is going to shoot up to 3. He's doing okay considering he's not shooting all the way up to 4, but things are getting pretty dire. He would have been 4 if Rock had landed the attack, that's for sure. But he's definitely there's a hole here that he can move through. I forgot about that.
A small one.
So he is going to try. He's going to use his some movement to get through. That is going to be 2 of his movement, and then 1 to get over here. He's booking it. He's sprinting. That brings us now to the Whomper himself.
Okay, so Roll is sprinting away, and Rock is also moving away.
So Rock leapt into the next zone to try to attack Leviathan, but missed and slipped and fell on his ass.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Roll is currently in your zone, and he's trying to pick up those bags of money that he's and book it for that big hole that he made in the wall.
Doesn't Roll have a ridiculously high DT?
He does have a very high DT. Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm a straightforward kind of guy, so let's not get fancy. I will go ahead and take my best shot at this guy. See what I can do.
All right.
So rolling D12.
So for when you're just doing a regular attack, you'd roll a D20, just like you would normally on like 5e to hit.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I meant to be clear. I'll use my superhero attack, the Colossal Punch.
I think you're out of the hero's favor for that. I don't think you're out of the hero's favor.
God, I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention to the action economy, so I can't do that. So it's just a regular attack. So I have to. All right. So D20 plus. Let's see. What do I roll for a bonus on that, or is it just straight D20?
So it'd be D20 plus your Moxie.
Yeah.
All right, D20 plus 4. What's my target number?
You're trying to get to a 20. That says DT is a 20.
All right. I rolled a natural 17 plus 4 Moxie. I'm at 21.
That'll do it. You hit him. Go ahead and roll
Yep,
damage.
right.
If you're attacking with your unarmed attack, it'll be a D8 plus 4.
Yeah, you're a
right.
brawler.
D8, you rolled a 3 plus 4, so 7.
7 damage to roll.
Any way I can increase that? Or is that pretty much what I got right there?
That is the number that you get. You can attack again, however, if you want to.
Yeah,
he is very close to going down.
Okay.
The unarmed strikes only take 2 DT instead of 3 for a weapon attack.
Oh yeah, why does that listed as 3?
I
think that's a mistake on the card. Yeah, it should only be 2. Either way, you can attack.
Unarmed attacks are only 2.
All right, rolling a D20, hoping for the best. Got a 10 plus 4 for Moxie, 14. I do not hit.
Mm-hmm.
So those are my 2 attacks.
You can attack a third time if you want. It should be 2 AP. That's a mistake on the card. Unarmed attacks generally do less damage. Not in this particular case, but they are 2 AP.
You just said that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's a mistake.
Is it the same roll to try to grapple and restrain him?
For that it would be what is it? Finesse.
Grapple is 3.
So I don't have the points for grapple. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Let's try to punch then. I rolled D20 a third time. 15 plus 4, 19. So not good. So
just misses.
So close, but not quite.
All righty. Leviathan, it is your turn.
All right. Levi he's got their number. Levi's going to line up his shot and just growl, freeze, and blast a icy blast through both of them.
Nice.
That's going to be a D12 plus 8 plus Moxie. All right. That is 13. And right at this level, it just does the damage. There's no frozen zones or anything like that. That's a higher level of this superpower. 13 cold damage. And I guess I'm not going to let Roll get away. I'm gonna.
Yeah, I mean, that depleted his health bar, so he's knocked out. If you want to describe,
he's unconscious.
Thanks to getting softened up by the womp. Yeah, thanks to getting softened up by the womper, that took him out. So, how do you knock out Mr. Roll?
I just freeze him solid into like a cartoon, like money bag over his shoulder statue, and then. Yeah, after I yell freeze, that I do that.
Fantastic. Yeah, he's trying to run and he just like gets frozen solid. You can see his eyes darting around looking for help. That's the only thing that can move is his eyeballs.
I turn back to Rock on the ground and say, your dirty turtle friend is frozen solid. You gonna give up now? And how is he?
We speaking of we have a gag where the long time ago when we started playing D&D together, we would get I didn't want my guys metagaming about health too much, so I didn't want them to say like, hey, on a scale of 1 to 60, how are you? I'm a 47. So we started to describe how bad we were doing health wise as how long we've been at Disneyland. So the gag would just be like, oh, how's he looking? Oh yeah, man, he's been on It's a Small World 4 times. He's not doing too good. Or like, oh yeah, no, he just got out the gate. He hasn't even had one of those big turkey legs. He's ready to go. So I would say for Rock, as far as the Disneyland check goes, he's seen the parade once. His kids are already getting excited about seeing it again, but there's still a little bit of daylight. It's only the first showing of the parade, and he knows he's going to be in for a long night, so he's got a little bit ahead of him. But you definitely done some good damage to him.
I would like to. I'm gonna hit him while he's down. Since he's prone, I'm gonna go for an attack with the glaive.
Go for it. His DT is significantly lower. He just has a larger health pool. So,
right. And he is knocked down, so that is with advantage.
That's true. That's correct.
So that's 2d20. That's a nat 20.
Nat 20. All right.
Yeah, nat 20 and
that.
15. So that glaive is a d8 plus 3. So 2d8. Tilted. It's going to be 10. Geez, what is that glaive damage? Sharp damage. 10 sharp damage, and I'm going to roll on that injury table.
All righty.
Let's see. That's a 96. This is good news.
Oh, you rolled a 96?
Yes, I did.
He's stunned for one turn.
Yeah, he's got a head injury.
Have we ever gotten a head injury in playtesting? I think maybe once.
Not in a demo. No.
Yeah, not in a demo for sure.
No.
Wow. All right.
Yeah. So I smack him.
Keep beating up my bad guys, dude.
Right in between the eyes.
Oh, I don't like you guys. You're supposed to get punched by me and fall down and go, oh, not the other way around.
And you're supposed to follow the polite rules of this society.
That's not what we do. We do the opposite of that. All right. That's great. That brings us to the top of the order, which is, in fact, a night shift. Night shift, what do you got?
I call over, you two got that? Looks like they got it. I'm going to one action point to move up a zone. Actually, I need to move 2 zones. I'll take 2 action points to move up 2 zones. Then I will spend 1 AP to grab onto this civilian, and I will say, "Let's get you out of here." And I am going to teleport him to how many people are? Well, actually, I don't need to. I'll teleport him out the door.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, you can do that very easily. You just teleport him out
and
there.
then I've got 2 action points left, so I'm going to run back with my last 2 action points to the hostages that are still remaining, and to ensure that they are evacuated safely. But the guy that was just lagging behind, I was a little worried about. So he was a little too close to the combat for my comfort.
I agree. Excellent turn. That does. I'll say in that you're able to get another D4 roll on these civilians. And that's 2. So that does actually perfectly get them all freed. Awesome. They are also saved. Since there's no one impeding them and you were doing a lot to help out. That's all she wrote.
Sweet. That was
now
a good
they just
time,
need
guys.
to take out the and I think that they can basically take out Rock at that point with what we have. So yay.
Yeah, he's stunned.
Very
I trust those 2.
fantastic turn. That brings us to Rock, who can do nothing because he's stunned. So that uses his entire turn. When you're stunned, you can't use any AP. So he's no longer stunned, but he couldn't use anything on that turn, which brings us back to Whomper. Whomper, it is your turn.
Is there anything left to do at this point?
Rock is still technically standing. He's stunned. He was just stunned, but he's still got a little bit of health left. I mean, you can
knocked down.
Yeah.
So he's not technically standing.
He's still he's still knocked down, but he's still conscious, I guess.
Okay, it seems like it'd be unheroic to kick a guy while he's down. Just based on lots of years reading, stuff in the genre. Call the police over, see if they have power dampening manacles or something similar. How about I just sit on his chest while my teammates go grab Detective Stone and see if they can, the power dampening Whoozits to put on this guy so that he doesn't become more of a problem.
Sure, that's a good idea. If you guys want to go, if we could just, wrap this up. He has a little bit of health left, but otherwise, you're probably going to take him out before he takes you out. Ultimately, you guys get the police all kind of like surround in, start capturing the Og Hogs. I think I actually read what I wrote here. With rock and roll dealt with, the police swarm the inside of the bank, apprehending any hogs they see and helping any civilians get the medical attention they require. As you make your way outside, you are immediately bombarded with press. One newswoman in particular approaches you quite quickly. Hello there, Sarah P. Titius with the PDC 6 o'clock news. You three are amazing. You saved the day. What do you call yourselves? She shoves the microphone in your face.
And I poof out.
You can't pronounce my name in your Earth language.
Okay, I meant like maybe like a team name or group name or something, honey.
Oh, I thought you asked myself. I look to Whomper.
We need a team name, huh?
Yep, we're leaving you to be the face. The other two left.
The guy with the monstrous big bright arm gets to be the face of the team. Okay.
Yes, you get to name our team, Mike.
Mm-hmm. We're the Beatles.
Beetle bad guys.
Exactly.
She turns to camera and says, well, you heard it here first, folks. The Beatles are out on the streets protecting you and me. Tonight, this is Sarah P. Titius signing off. Good night, everybody. She shuts off the cameras and all the civilians get their way in. Rock is brought out on an enormous stretcher with, as you described, like power dampening manacles, almost like deuterium or whatever the thing is from The Witcher that stops witches from doing stuff. Like it just like basically shuts his powers down, and he's just like becomes like an inert set of rocks. Roll is like getting chipped, like someone has like an ice chip and is just like kind of chipping away at him. And he kind of turns to you and says, we would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you Beatles. Damn you! As he gets shoved in the back of a cop car. And Detective Stone shakes your hand and thanks you for your service.
Now you make me wish that he named a Scooby Gang.
If it wasn't for you meddling soups.
Well, hey, that was a good time. Alice, you have any thoughts?
Thank you very much. That was fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, one more time, buttstuffgames.com. Check it out. You can see the characters Alice and I played. Leviathan's not on there, but you can definitely go. Yeah, they'll add it soon, it sounds like. They've got 10 or 12 days left of Kickstarter, so check it out. Help them hit some Kickstart, some stretch goals. And last 2 hours we've been playing this game, and it was a lot of fun. I hardly recommend it. So I want to say, Pete, Smiley, been a pleasure talking to you guys.
Thank you so much.
Looking forward to whatever Butt Stuff Games does. I don't want to say whatever you do next because you're in the middle of a huge Kickstarter, and I know it's a roller coaster and and a marathon at the same time. But I look forward to you guys brought a lot of talent and a lot of style to this project, and I look forward to what you guys do down the road. So
yeah, thank you so much. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
I was just going to say, quick note, when I went there, 9 days left. You guys have 9 days left.
9 days left. So just over a week. So today, broadcast day is March 9th, so March 18th. So when you're listening to this, jump on it soon. Don't put it off. So
yeah, got a little bit of time. You can still hop in, get the book, PDF or solid copy. We've still got some of the like relatively higher tiers if you wanted to check those out as well. Otherwise, guys, just if you're interested, we've got a Discord too. Check us out. Ask us questions. We love to talk about superheroes. So come on in and hang out. Otherwise, see it for BAMF Podcast. Thank you so much for having us. Really, I really do appreciate it. I had a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah, this was a good time. Alice, appreciate you coming out. I know you're not always feeling good these days, so I appreciate making time to come out and play with us.
I always love playing games. I'm sorry that my schedule has not been as open as it used to be. I really appreciated being invited, though. I had fun. Thank you, guys. Very nice meeting you, Smiley and Pete.
You as well.
I hope to get to game with you guys in the future.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
All right, guys. On that happy note, we will end this session of the BAMF Podcast, and I hope to catch you next time.